So we are definitely in the emotion season with the movement of the sun at the moment. And in this time, we're in the top left side of the wheel here. And in that section with the red arrow, the Imbolc or the lead of fire in the belly. And this describes all the emotions gates except for gateway number 6. So today we're looking at the sun moving into gateway number 37. And fire at the bottom, solid, broken, solid. And then we got wind at the top. Broken, solid, solid. And the 37, wherever you see the 37, it's one of these 3 places in the wheel where if you've got the sun on one side, the earth is on the other side, and together they make up a channel. The channel 3740, the channel of community. And so community is the essential nature of this particular personal life theme of planning. Conscious sun in the 37, conscious earth in the 40. So the 37 is very much about friendship and family. Who belongs, who doesn't. And in the family, what is the pecking order? Like, who's the elder and what's the line all the way down through the ancestry, right? Who runs the show? Who's the in charge, as it were? Who's the top dog, the chief? And the 40th gate, the gate of deliverance, and this in the gate in the willpower center, the heart center. What is it that really has value? And so this is both these gateways in what we call tribal circuitry. And the tribal circuitry revolves around the fact that we are here to support each other. And so the nature of support involves a certain level of trust. And so this channel of 3740, the community basically operates on the basis of the hierarchy, the elders and the junior members, but everybody is in support of each other for increased sense of wealth, increased sense of well-being. The unconscious sun is in gateway number 9, the gateway of details. And this is in the sacral center, details in terms of, what do we need to put together to make things work properly? And it's logic circuitry, it's very much about future orientation. Unconscious earth in the 16, I see it as the great skill to be able to recognize just at a glance what's going to work and what's not. What's going to go forward and what needs a lot of adjustment or needs to be dropped altogether because it's not going to work well at all. And so we have this personal life theme of planning. 3740 in the tribal circuitry, very much about, how do we support each other? And then the 9 and the 16 in logic circuitry that has absolutely nothing to do with the tribe, right? Logic is all about justice and rule systems and, moving things forward in that way. The tribe is just in support of each other so we grow well together. And so it's rather an unusual life theme, this one, and planning, and the 2 parts of it are very different from each other. And so people with this particular life theme, they find, either they're totally focused on the family and the support thing, or they're very much future oriented and how do we get ahead and how do we make things work well according to the collective logic process and things. And I often describe this life theme as like trying to ride 2 horses at once. Can you keep them going together? And it's a very significant life theme, this one in particular, because for the last several hundred years, the whole global incarnations theme has been this particular one. Trying to get the tribe to correspond with rule systems. How do we make laws and things that serve not just the community and the collective, but also the tribe as well? How do we get the tribe involved in this? And in this next couple of years, this particular theme is dropping away. And we're moving into the sleeping phoenix, which is very much more individual relating. So in a sense, we're moving out of this age of, what can I say, blaming other people or relying on everybody else to do things. And we're moving into this age of the empowerment of the individual. And so it's not to say people with this life theme are going to have difficulties in the years coming, but they're going to have to see the planning is going to become very different. Still it's going to involve the community, still it's going to be involved in looking forward to the future. But it's morphing into something where everybody has to take responsibility. It's not just going to be enough that the community is the one that serves everybody, that supports each other. It's not going to be enough just to be saying, hey, well, there's a logical way of doing things. We're going to move into a very more innovative sphere. So people with this particular life theme, they're going to have to up level in the sense of recognizing times are changing, and the plans that used to function in the past, the rule systems, the laws, judicial systems, all these kinds of things are going to disappear. Now, the beauty of the 3740 is this ability to make deals, and particularly handshake deals. They're agreements made in trust. So a handshake deal, very much because the tribal circuitry on this side is very much about touch. It's all about that sensation. And you'll know when you shake hands with somebody, if you have that touch, you'll know perfectly well if somebody on the other end of that handshake is giving you a real handshake, or they can't wait to let go of you. Or better, they're going to give you a good hug, like that familiarity. And there's a difference in a really good hug. They say it releases all kinds of endorphins and makes everybody feel good, and a hug where it's just a little kind of pat on the back and let me go as quickly as possible. So 3740 is really about that. Who do we make agreements with? And the thing with the tribe is we make an agreement and that's it. We're not about, all of a sudden changing our minds and doing something different. We're going to make an agreement based on the trust. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. The sun moves on into the fourth line with the 37. And as it goes through the various lines, it's going into different areas of family interactions, if you will, and community interactions. Fourth lines always have this great potential to be influential, but they also have this sensation they really like it when people are on their side. Everyone's in agreement, everyone's going together. The family, the community, the 3740 is going together on something. The unconscious sun has moved into gateway number 5, which is the gateway of timing and waiting and patience. The unconscious earth has gone into the 35, the gateway of progress. And so this particular fixed life theme of bargains is very particular. A fourth line bargain is we are all in this together. We have a very clear agreement. And at the same time, we're tuning into the timing of things with the unconscious earth, and also the 35, which, come on, let's do something different. Let's expand. Let's progress in our sense of fulfillment in this lifetime. So the fixed life theme of bargains really is the whole lifetime is looking to make agreements that work for everybody as much as possible. Then the sun moves on into the 5th and 6th lines of the 37 and the 40. Again, the unconscious earth and the 5 and the 35. But here we've gone into the life theme, the interpersonal life theme of migration. This migration happens twice a year for a couple of days each time. And you'll find there's actually a movement within civilization at these particular dates. Or if there's not actual physical movement, there's just this agreement. I'm done with whatever I'm doing here. I'm moving on. I'm migrating into a different company or a different environment or a different milieu, different community. I'm moving on. I'm changing my space in life. And it's one of those migratory patterns that happens for humans twice a year. And it's kind of interesting to see why does this take place? Again, it's the 5th gateway is all about the timing. This is on the unconscious side. And the 35 is looking for fresh pastures, looking for adventure, looking for something different. Let's expand the envelope a little bit. And so the 37 and the 40 are seeing 37 with the 5th line is very much ready to see, how does the family really do well? Who is teachable? Who can rise up? And the 35 with the 6th line is very particular. Who fits and who doesn't? Who wants to get this energy and who doesn't? Who's available for it and who's not? And so very often you find people with this particular life theme, they'll get so far with a community or a job or a certain milieu, and all of a sudden they up anchor and move on into something else, or they completely change their program, or they completely change the people around them in their life. And it's just a part of the human migration scene, that's all. And the 5th gateway very much tied into seasons, and the 35th gateway very much about seeing, how do we expand our experience level here? So people with the personal life theme of planning, Ralph Nader, you might remember this fellow is the one that challenged the auto industry and saying, unfit to drive at any speed. This was the Corsair, the particular car that was being made in Detroit. Liz Taylor, this extraordinary actress, who just completely was a bombshell in her time, and nobody could take their eyes off her. And she was very particular about how she placed herself in life. John Steinbeck, this amazing author, Grapes of Wrath and Other Stories, just would plan, how to propose his work in the world and how to make it very obvious to people what was going on, what was happening in America in a very formative time. People in the interpersonal life theme of migration, right? Remember saying these are people that move on. They get so far with something and they change their milieu, they change their partnership, they change the people they're working with. Roger Daltrey, Tony Robbins, how does he keep going from all these different ways and all these different people? Somehow he maintains that, but he keeps shifting his pattern into different areas of human expansion. And Justin Bieber, has goodness knows how many times he's changed his audience and changed his milieu and changed his style. So these are people that have this particular life theme of migration. The lines, all those 64 hexagrams are in this book, and each one has its particular line patterns within it. And you can read much more deeply into this in the Book of Lines, 21st Century View of the I Ching. And the 2024 updated edition now includes centers, circuits, and other special features about human design. All of the 192 life themes are in the Book of Destinies, available at all good bookstores, also in Kindle, where the color really stands out. And this is all part of the Human Design Trilogy, available worldwide, multiple different language versions, and that's it. Gateway number 37, friendship and family. Who are your friends? Who are the ones that really you're here to support? Who are the ones that really support you?